the agenda for today's webinar is, right? A lot of you may have questions on how you can get started, or you're already in the domain, you just want to understand how you can grow. Your question or concern can be anything. So we're here to address these live today as a part of this interaction with Achyut. So I'll be introducing him to you very, very shortly, and we'll also do a quick round of introductions around your profile, your work experience, and all of that as well. Yes. So great. Thanks so much, Balaji, for watching Achyut's video. Yes. Nice. So I think we're all here, and we're also live on YouTube and LinkedIn. In case you're watching us from there, please leave us a hi. Let us know you're here on the live chat. And people on LinkedIn, let us know through the live chat. If you have questions that you want me to pass to Achyut, let me know. Okay, great. So let me just switch on YouTube and LinkedIn. In case yes. So that was me testing our LinkedIn. So we're live there as well. In case you guys have questions to ask, please make sure you are asking us, and people on YouTube as well. Yeah. So I'm just quickly going to set the agenda for today's session. You guys may be here for the first time, so you may not understand how a webinar really happens. So we make sure that all of your questions are answered. So let's say you have a question to ask. You please put that on the Q&A box. Now use the chat box to interact with us. You make sure that anything that you would want to, minor things with the speaker, with me, you could use the chat box. But let's say you have a question, make sure you use the Q&A box. Yeah. And let's say you miss the session, please do not worry. The session is being recorded. So if you miss something, or you couldn't hear something, you will be receiving the recording along with a certificate of attendance for this webinar. Yeah. So please make sure that you are attentive. And let's say you missed the you missed something, do not worry. You will receive a recording link in the next 24 hours. Okay. So these are some quick ground rules. Just quickly read them if you're just joining in, leave in your introductions, and also give me a thumbs up on the chat if you've understood this. Quick thumbs up. Yeah, everyone else as well? Yes, great. Amazing. All of you are now clear that if you miss something, if you miss a question, you know what to do. Yeah? Okay, and let's say you want to ask something, please make sure you use the Q&A box. Do not repeat the same question. You see a question being posted. Do not post the same question, or do not repost, because the Q&A box might get flooded as well. Yeah. So what I'm going to do right now is keep the Q&A box public so that anybody can see anybody's question. Yeah. There's a much better way of interacting with each other and also interacting with your speaker. Okay. So with this, let's get started. Thank you so much, people on YouTube also, for acknowledging your presence here. Now, just a quick introduction, more introduction about you, right? So I would like to understand what your work experience is, and we will do that, or we will answer that through a poll that I'm about to launch. Okay. So you will see a poll or pop up on your screen. Just make sure you answer that, select the appropriate option. People on LinkedIn and YouTube, just use the live chat. You won't be able to access the poll on Zoom. So just make sure you are here. You're answering the question on the live chat. Yes. So I'm sure Achyut is able to see the responses as well. Okay, so I'll just keep it live for another 30 seconds in case you're just here. We're yet to start. We'll get started just in a while. Before that, we'd like to understand you guys a bit more. That's why the poll question is here. Okay. And this is overall experience, not limited to cybersecurity or anything. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Great. Another 10 more seconds. 10 more people who need to answer. Great. Great. Always use the poll, just helps us visualize the profile a bit better. Okay. Okay, great, great. Thank you so much for your responses. I'm going to be sharing these results for everyone else to see as well. A lot of you are still students. At least half of you are still students. Some of you have more than 5 years of experience. Okay, which is great. And you may have a bunch of questions already to ask, right? But I have a set of questions that, many of our learners will have. So I will do that, a quick round of basic questions with our speaker, and then we'll get to the live questions as well. Okay, it shouldn't take us much time, but there's just one more question before we proceed, and I'm going to share those results as well and keep them live for the rest of the session. Is what is exactly stopping you from pursuing a career in cybersecurity, right? So let me launch that quick poll. It's just going to take a little while here. Yeah. So here you go. Yeah, you should see that on your screen right now. Huh. Please make sure you choose the right option again. What is exactly stopping you from pursuing a career in cybersecurity? You don't have the skills, you don't have the practical exposure, you're still finding a right course, you don't know how to upskill, you don't know the right strategy to follow. You've upskilled, uh, what course or what career path you need to do, but you just don't know how to leverage these skills that you gained, basically in finding a job or, you know, finding right recruiter, reaching out to the recruiter. All of these are your problems. So it can be anything. Yeah. So put in your responses. Yes, I'm just going to keep the poll live for another few more seconds before we close it. Yes. I understand that a lot of you are still students, so this question may not be entirely relevant, but if let's say you graduate from college, you don't know the right strategy, or you don't know the right set of skills, your answer can be anything. Yes, yeah. Great. So I'm just going to share these results as well. So Achyut, I think, will be able to see these results for a while. And now let me introduce you to Simplylearn and also our speaker today, who was very kind to accept our offer. But also one quick note, he is or was a Simplylearn alumnus for the IIITB cybersecurity course. It's called the Advanced Executive Program in Cybersecurity. So it's great to have you here, Achyut. Would you like to
My
introduce
pleasure.
yourself to the audience as well before we start?
Sure, sure. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all of you, wherever you are from the world. It's really nice to connect with diverse people connecting from different part of the world. So let me come to me. I am Achyut. I am right now working as a senior audit manager in Standard Chartered Bank. And I work in the technology and architecture audit group within Standard Chartered. And my main line of work is doing the information audits, cybersecurity audits, and also infrastructure related audits. So this is my current job profile. I have about 21 years of experience in totality. Started off as a small time analyst, and here I am in 21 years talking to you all as a senior audit manager. So looking forward to uh, a great Q&A session and also a great discussion in this forum.
Yeah.
Back to you, Aparna.
Great, great. Glad to have you here as well, Achyut. For people who are new to Simplylearn, just a quick introduction about Simplylearn as well. So Simplylearn offers skills in various domains, including cybersecurity. You might be looking for certifications, you might be looking for long-term PG programs, or you would like to pursue a certain career path and you want to upskill and prepare yourself for that career path. So you've got courses for all these needs in all of the domains that you see here. And today in particular, we're going to be talking towards the end about the cybersecurity expert master's program, which prepares you for beginning in the cybersecurity domain, right? So in our journey, we've touched more than 5 million careers worldwide, and we've also have learners from more than 150 countries, right? So we've got close to 800 qualified trainers for all the programs that you see on our website. So you can head to simplylearn.com and check out our portfolio of courses and also certifications specifically in the cybersecurity domain, right? So with this, I think we'll jump right into the first question that we have for you, Achyut, is how did you exactly transition or think about entering this domain? Could you just describe your journey for our learners as well?
Yeah, I will keep it as brief as possible, the
Yeah.
21 years in a matter of few seconds. But yeah, to everyone, see, I did my engineering, and then I did my MBA in finance and systems, and I started off as a small-time analyst in a fintech company, where it was more of a data entry job, and it was more of maintaining the financial data in a database, which would be used by various customers. So that's how I started off my career. So it was not a big bang career start where I started off in a big four or something like that. So it was a very small fintech company, and that's how I started off my career. But what I did is what really I would like to share here as part of this thing. Even though I started off as a very small time analyst, I always ensured that I understood what the industry wanted and what is the next best thing for you. So always I transitioned from a small time analyst into a business analyst, where I used my knowledge of how to create a database of a database into being a business analyst, where I could be using my financial knowledge I gained and also the knowledge of system into creating some products that I started working for. And I became a business analyst. And while doing a business analyst, I was put, or rather, I came into contact with first time with audit,
Mm.
where I was actually part of the ISO 27001 assessment. I was in the auditee side, and my company was going through the ISO certification. And I was really fascinated by what was happening in the ISO world, and how what were the type of questions, and what was the industry that is getting evolved as such, mainly from the fintech perspective. So that curiosity made me look into and say, okay, if I somehow felt that my ability to be a business analyst, which wherein you have to connect with your stakeholders, understand the business requirement, and then converting it, could also be used in the skills of being an auditor. So that's where I said, okay, why not be an auditor in that aspect? So what I did was, okay, I have a financial ability, I have the background, a few amount of how things are with respect to a system. And I said, okay, what is the next best thing to do? And that's when I came across CISA for the first time in 2006. I said, okay, this let me then start getting my hands dirty on becoming a CISA certified person. And yeah, 1 year of hard work on that. That was my first upskilling. Remember, I've already been an MBA, so that was my first upskilling, where I did my CISA certification. I put in 1 year of full hard work. And in 2007, I cleared my CISA on the first try. So that was something which I really pride about, and I'm very happy to say that because CISA is not something which you would be able to clear in your first attempt. So that's the first time I upskilled myself. And I then said, okay, I have the business analyst background, I have the systems background, I have the audit background. What is my next goal? So that's when I went into my next company. That's my first time I went into audit side. I joined Verizon here in Chennai, and I was doing database audit and uh, basic audits on the infrastructure per se within Verizon. And Verizon was building the audit team here. So with my CISA certification and with my knowledge on what I have been till date, helped me in getting into the Verizon. People mind you, the reason why I'm very slow and steady in terms of how my career growth is, because this will answer a lot of questions that you guys are having in your mind. How am I going to proceed? I'm right now in this, and how am I going to reach that? But time will evolve. You need to adapt, and that's what I'm trying to put across. So coming back to my story, so that's how I joined Verizon, and my first taste of audit was in 2007, and and then I was there in Verizon for 2 years, and that's when I realized that audit is not about just doing database and something, or application audits, and which I was doing. There is a lot more to the world of audit. That is, only if you understand the risk and the control environment will you be able to actually appreciate and understand the audit world more. So that's when I transitioned myself into a risk manager in my next company, which was Inotics, or right now it is called BNY Mellon Technology, in Chennai again. And I was the risk manager for Inotics, maintaining the risk register and everything that comes along as being a risk manager. That really taught me a lot, basically because being a risk manager, you need to have your audit skills because you have to go understand what the teams are doing, evaluate their controls, and also then come up with what is lacking in the control and what needs to be put in. And that is how you update your risk register. So those 4 years were very critical for me in terms of understanding, analyzing the company as such. And when you be a risk manager of a company, you just don't sh- uh, restrict yourself to one part of it. You just do it for entire. So I got to know about HR, I got to know about finance, I got to know about infrastructure, technology, and also outsourcing, because I was also part of working with the Pershing, which is the subsidiary of BNY. So I got to know a lot more wider thing, and I was able to grow my knowledge per se in terms of understanding what the industry is all about. And that risk really helped me out. And that's when I said, okay, let me go back into my audit line. And within BNY Mellon, I was fortunate enough to transition myself from the risk role back into the infrastructure audit role. And I stayed there for another 4 years, till about 2015. And I joined Standard Chartered in 2015, and I've been here for 10 years. Even in this 10 years, it's not been one team here in Standard Chartered. I joined them as a technology application auditor, and then I transitioned myself into an information security auditor. And now my current role is working on the infrastructure audits, including the cybersecurity audit. So this is my 21 years in nutshell, and hope I have not bored people with my 21. Aparna, I think you're speaking on mute.
Oh, sorry, I was speaking on mute. Yes, so I think the journey is interesting. I think the learners will agree with me here that it's been diverse, and there are a lot of changes and a lot of growth opportunities that you kind of seeked, and you did that. So how did you manage to really choose your next step? I think that's where people struggle to make the right decision. So how did you know that this is going to be your next step, and how did you kind of have that vision for where you'd want to go? I think most learners here would have the same question: how do I decide where I want to reach?
I would say, see, two things that helped me out was my own gut feeling and in terms of how I observed what industry is going through from 2000 onwards. And I said, okay, this is going to be how things are going to be. So how am I going to adapt and update myself to make sure that I'm there when things happen? That's my gut feeling. So, and also, of course, you need to have a mentor. And for me, my mentor was my father, with whom I have a very open discussion where it would be a more of he would challenge me a lot more in terms of why, what, and what are your goals as such. So those challenges is something which really helped me in getting the clarity and what I need to do, and go with your instinct. I would always say to people, trust your instinct because your instinct always takes you to places rather than trying to find something from out of a blue. So that's how I've done.
Great, great. So I think we already have a few questions. I request you guys to post these questions on the Q&A box. Another question that I'd like to ask you is, so right now in your current role, so what does a typical day look like? And you obviously manage a team of people, you working with a lot of stakeholders as well. So how does your typical day look like? And how do you think, or what skills do you think do people need to gain as they go forward or as they grow in their career in this particular domain?
See, what I would say is the most important thing at any point of time in your career, whether you're a student or you're 20, 21 years of experience, is basically having confidence in what you're doing. And my day typically is a lot of involvement with stakeholders. Stakeholder management is the key, and being an auditor is not a simple job because you have to manage both your internal stakeholder, which is your management, and also the external stakeholders. So if you have to balance out the expectation of the external stakeholders on whom you're doing the audit on, and also the internal management whose expectation is that this is what I need to see as an outcome of your audit should be. So if you have the ability to isolate yourself at a point in time, I think that's the best skill that you can have because zone out of something that is happening to you, you would be able to find what you really require to do as such. So that's what I feel. And to answer your typical day. It involves a lot of documentation. It involves a lot of testing. So you need to have manage what your priorities are and make sure that you go about getting those priorities right. And I'm telling you, as humans, we always try to be the best, but we also miss the bus. But that's how life is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think great, great. Thanks for answering that. With this, I think let me just take a few more questions from the audience before I have, next question about what skills should one really look for. So I'll just start with the first one that we have. Tarun has a question here. I want to ask that in cybersecurity, someone needs to have problem finding skills. So he's very interested, and he also wants to get into cybersecurity. Uh, but I think he wants to demonstrate his problem solving and problem finding ability. How does he do that even before getting into a role in cybersecurity, or how does he demonstrate his ability?
I would tell Tarun, first and foremost, I think your way of how you're thinking about it is something which you need to change because cybersecurity is not about problem solving. Cybersecurity is about problem identification.
Yeah,
So that answers your question in terms of how do I solve it is basically how do you identify it. And for you to identify it, you have to be clear. As I said, right, when you are in the line of being an auditor, you have to always see things objectively,
Mm,
not subjectively. Objectively, when you start seeing things, you will start to see things in a different way, and you will able to say, okay, I'm saying it, cybersecurity is not about fault finding; it's about preventive
mm,
part of any industry. So never think that cybersecurity is about fault finding. So I need to get my skills up in terms of getting my fault finding. You are not by any means not sorry Sherlock Holmes. So
mm,
you are basically a cybersecurity expert. That means you need to know what is the right thing that would prevent something from happening to your company. So that's the way I think, Tarun, you need to look into it. So once you start looking into it, I am sure you are nervous because you are now trying too hard to find a solution. I would rather suggest take a step back, try not to find a solution, but try to identify what is your needs, and
mm.
then probably answers will come your way. And that's what I would say for that.
Great, great. I hope that answers your question, and everyone else, please, I request you guys to put questions on the Q&A. Someone wants to start off as a fresher in cybersecurity. They have a BCA degree. Do they
Mm.
really need to have coding skills? How does one increase chances of landing their first job? I'm sure you would be doing a lot of hiring as well for your team. You might have seen a lot of freshers, people who are still early in their career. So, what skills do you really think, in terms of the technical skills that are required? How does one go about finding their first job?
So so I would say, see, please do not think that coding is the only way into cybersecurity, because you are not going to be an ethical hacker from day one,
Yeah.
and that's not how cybersecurity needs to be. To linking to Tarun's question, it's about not fault finding; it's a preventive world. So it's what your skill that you require is basic knowledge of how infrastructure works within a company, and you need to understand, say, if somebody comes and asks you what is a firewall, you should be able to understand what that is, and then you should be able to look into it in a way you need to look into it, and also say what is the thing that is missing within the firewall, due to which that firewall can be exploited. So what I would suggest is that um, uh, coding is only when you feel that you need to go into your one area of which is red hatting, or that we call it, where you go and do a black box testing and other stuff. That is not what it is. Cybersecurity is a vast, huge area. And I think there is a lot of, if you see the learning upskilling also, each cybersecurity course will be able to focus on certain key aspects of cybersecurity. So
Yeah.
think what you want to do, and then pick that up and then start doing it. That's how you would be able to do it. Hope I answered that question, Tapan.
Got it. Got it. Vittal, again, please use the Q&A box. Great, thanks so much, Achyut, for answering that. We've got another question. Biswaroop, I'll come to your question towards the, I think we just answered this question about how you can successfully land a job, but uh, maybe we'll take Biswaroop's question as well. I think his question is that he's already taken this course, Cybersecurity Expert Master's Program with Simplylearn, and he just wants to understand his next steps. And I think that will be true for anybody who is upskilled, who has gained certification. So how does one really go about the next step, like recruiter outreach, demonstrating their skills in interviews? How does he do that?
I would again say the best way to approach an interview is what you know and what you have, plus what you are learning as part of your cybersecurity course that you are currently pursuing. The reason I'm saying is what you know will always give you the pace. As I said, if I have to again go to an analogy of my career, I took what I know as a base. For example, I said, okay, I'm a business analyst. I know about system. How do I utilize that base, put
Mm,
what I need, which is my CISA, and how do I then grow to the next level? So that's the key aspect of it. So don't ever approach your upskilling courses as just a learning part of it, but always during the time of your course, say what you can apply in your current role that would actually create a new role for you. And then when you look into it, you would know what is the kind of job you want to apply. And then when you are applying for such kind of job, the interview becomes much more easier because it is your forte. You are confident on it. And when you go into the interview, you don't have to be what do I say, skeptical about what you're going to answer because you know what you're going to answer. So that's what I would say. Never forget your base. Always add your upskilling courses as a onto the base, and then make sure that you grow along with it. So that's what I would say, Aparna.
Got it. Great. I hope that answers your question, Vishwarup. Let me see. We have a question from Sheikh Ali who's asking, what are the best career opportunities that I can pursue when I finish college? Okay, someone who's a student. What is the role that they can start with? How does one go about starting out?
So what I would suggest is that at least right now, not the time when I passed out of my engineering college, where things were all too fixed and there were only few lines to look into as an engineer. You can
Mhm.
either become a software engineer or not, and that's how things were looking into. But right now, you have a different version of your career as such. So when you finish out of the college, again, I'm telling you, use what you're trying to say. If you're an engineer, your basic and major skill is analytics. That is, you are able to rationalize, think, and also think objectively. Again, I'm telling you, being a cybersecurity expert is always trying to be objective as possible. So use that, on that, and then say, okay, if I'm coming out as a, say, computer science engineer, if I want to go to cybersecurity, how do I add things to that portfolio and then get my interview on? There is a lot of consulting companies which are looking for these youngsters who are coming out of graduates, who would be wanting to do this the ground level auditing jobs. So there is a lot of opportunities. All you need to do is just spread out your wings
Mhm.
and see what you can see.
Got it. Got it. Understood. So, is there a certification that you suggest someone just fresh out of college or starting out in cybersecurity? I know it depends on the job role that they would like to pursue, but could you just name a few certifications and maybe explain? Say someone had a question about ethical hacking, someone had a question about SOC analyst. So could you just explain these roles and how a certification really fits the bill?
Absolutely. So CEH, or Certified Ethical Hacker, is somebody who really wants to, who's a, what do I say? If I have to take analogy from our Hollywood cinemas, who loves Matrix, the screen goes wild, and then you just type yourself, and then you get into anything and everything you want to get into. If you are that kind of a person, again, I'm telling you, don't force yourself to go and say, I want to be a Matrix person. Say that, am I good in that being a Matrix person? So that's the key. Always go by your strength. So if ethical hacking is all about preventive, basically you become a hacker and you try to find some glaring vulnerabilities
Mhm.
on your platform that you are doing it. And basically ethical hacking course will help you in actually how do you go about getting those vulnerabilities out, and for which you need to do a nmap, what do I say, course of coding and other stuff. So that is all on coding. But cybersecurity also is all about uh, security maintenance part of it. How do you ensure you harden your infrastructure? Say, for example, if you are taking a server, what is that you need to do to make sure that your server is not being infiltrated into? by any other person coming from the outside. So, what is the kind of level of security that you need to put in? And that's where SOC, or the security assessment, and that's where CSAM comes into perspective. CSAM is basically, if you want to be an actual implementer of security, CSAM is what it is. If you want to be an auditor like me, then CISA comes into picture, where it will say, how do you look out for these gaps and vulnerabilities within the system? So it's basically, CSAM becomes, how do you ensure that you make the environment secure, and CISA is, how do you look out for something whether if there is any glaring hole. So CISA becomes that kind of a certification. Over and above that, any kind of cybersecurity course will really help. Basically, because to know all of this, you need to know what is basic. You need to know what is. If somebody asks you, "Can you tell me what is database?" or "Can you tell me what is a server?" "Can you tell me what is a firewall?" You should be able to understand the basics, and these kind of cybersecurity courses will help you in getting to know about these basics. On which, again, I'm reiterating, build a base, and build on it with respect to all the certifications that I've talked about. So that's how you go about, Aparna.
Got it. So what about CCSP or CISSP? How are they different from what?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
CISSP is absolutely a certificate that you need to have if you want to go into a full-fledged infrastructure manager. Infrastructure manager is, you maintain the network, you maintain the hardwares. So if you want to be that kind of a person, then yeah, CISSP. In fact, CISSP helps auditors also, because when you are looking into an environment, you need to know what you're looking into. And if you don't know what you're looking into, then it is just a blind person throwing something at an object. So that's not how it should be. So CISSP will also help you in that aspect. It's not just about if you want to be a technical guy. If you are an auditor, also CISSP. So the certificate that you just set, Aparna, is mostly if you want to become a hardcore uh, implementer of things within an environment as such.
Got it. Got it. So is there, okay, I know this is a very, silly and a basic question to ask, but I'm sure the learners, one of them have already asked this question. So is there CISSP or CCSP, which do you recommend? Or is there a recommendation that you have for people just starting out? I know it's,
Again and again, I will tell you, recommendation is something that many people can give you.
yeah,
Advices are something which comes free in our lives. So what you feel, because take the chapters in both the course, read through it and say what clicks for you, what is that your interest is, and then select whether it's CASSP and CS. Without me knowing who you are, I cannot say that no, you have to go for CASSP. And then when you take a step into the world of infrastructure, I say, why did I even choose this? I'm more interested in that. That's not how it should be. You, before you do a course, don't do it for the sake of that. If I do the course, I get the job. No, don't ever do that way. You
yeah,
have to take a course to make sure that where you want to be and where your goals are to be. So think in that way. So to answer your question very, very short, I will not suggest any one of them. It is
yeah.
you who has to choose it.
Yeah, I knew the answer. I just wanted the learners to, have this answer kind of established, written in stone, so that you know today that there's no right certification. It's all about your career goals, anything that aligns with what you want to do. And also, Swastika, about this question of yours, which that says, okay, is certification really enough to crack a job? So we just answered that as well. You will need to demonstrate your skills, also practical skills to your employer, and that's how you'll be able to crack the job, right? So Deborah, we just addressed that, so I don't think you're not getting a straightforward answer to that. We'll just proceed to the next question here. uh, Someone has a question. Okay, they have a lot of knowledge, someone has gathered a lot of information about the field, has done self-paced training, learned, done a bunch of free courses. How does one now get started? I think another question connected to this is, let's say someone has to start. What should their roadmap be? what advice would you give to someone starting out? How should what should their next first step in upskilling, how next, what should they be doing? What kind of growth roles should they be looking at?
I think the person who asked the question has already done the hard job. He has started to build the base. Again and again, why I'm coming back to the word base is to build the base. And now what you need to do is how do I utilize the base for me to grow? And when you're starting your career, as I said, uh, don't get disheartened because you're starting the career in something which you feel is not the right thing. Even I did not start off. I started off as a small time analyst that doing a data entry, and that didn't stop me to say that no, this is how my career is going to be right through. I evolved. I learned and I adapted and then made sure that I achieve where I want to be. So what I would say is there is always some practicality in how you get your first job. Never ever say that um, okay, it's good always. So I don't want anybody to get me wrong. It's always good to be aspirational, but always try to be also sometimes practical because being aspirational, we sometimes lose the focus in terms of trying to too hard to achieve something. You lose the objectivity. Again, I'm using the word objectivity. So be objective. Try to make use of the first job and then see how well you can put your skills that you are learning as you grow as a personal learning or through any courses. How do you put that over your current career and then you grow up is what it needs to be. I know it is easier said than done, but I can vouch for from my own experience. It is possible and it can be achieved. So don't get disheartened by any means.
Right.
From as a first base.
Got it. Got it. I think the first base is to obviously upskill and then figure out which path one wants to choose, and then maybe find opportunities and then take it from there. Right. So we have a question from Millie, I guess. Okay, she or he is a BSc in Business and Information Technology, has more than 5 years of experience in tech, has grown interest and passion in becoming a skilled cybersecurity professional, but don't exactly know what kind of skills she or he should learn or gain. Are there also tools that you recommend that people should work with? How does that, what do you recommend?
So, just a counter question here. I'm not sure how it could be handled because
Mhm.
if that person is already into tech, then he knows what he needs to do from the he or she. I'm sorry about that. Knows what needs to be done because, as I said, you will know what you have in hand, which is
Yeah.
your current capabilities, and then you have to always say that what is the next thing that you need to do. Say, for example, my career, as I explained, I said I wanted to get into the line of being a cybersecurity person. So I slowly and gradually grew it. So you have the end goal. So you have to find, is there anything that if I do this certification with my current role within my organization, will I be able to move inside internally into another team, which would actually help me grow into the line where I want to. You cannot jump all of a sudden from one line to another line. That cannot happen. And it's always not the right thing to happen also. Grow gradually into a next line of what you want to be. And to grow, you have to also identify the opportunities that you have right next to you within your organization and say, okay, I need to apply for this job within my organization. I have this already as a base, which is my technology. What is the skill that I could add into that can actually get me that job. Probably think in that way, and that way it will help you in terms of growing up.
Understood. Okay, got it. So what about someone who does not have a similar background, but they are still kind of passionate? I know you said upskilling, finding the right course, but is there some kind of practice that they can do before actually reaching out for a job? So what would you recommend for such people, people other than Millie who have some background in tech?
again, I'm telling you, nobody is inexperienced. Everybody is experienced in their own rights and own way, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you are experienced in what you are doing currently. So that means you are an experienced person. So always think in that line. To me, I've never seen or call anybody inexperienced. Everybody, including freshers, including a baby, to me is experienced in whatever they are, because they have experience in something which they have done on a repetitive way, and they have the skills to do that.
yeah,
So what I would suggest is, you have the skills. Again, I'm reiterating the fact, you have to know how you could utilize your current experience and your current skills to go to and achieve your goal of what you want to be. Have a clear goal and then start doing it. So there's nothing called inexperience. So if you are a fresher, you can always say, this is what it is. Concentrate on what you need to do and adapt to the situation and learn what you need to learn along with it, and then you will be able to land it. Again, I'm telling you, don't be too specific about it. Sometimes a different job can actually help you in attaining your goal also. So
yeah.
never be too focused and fixated on something. That's what I would say.
Right, got it. So I think to all of the people who are asking this question about skills and tools, I think the first thing that you need to figure out is what you would want to do next. What is your next logical step like? So which we may not be able to guide you or tell you exactly what it should be. I think you will have to spend some time understanding where you are headed at, and what would you like to achieve with the skills that you've gained or whatever skills you need to gain. So you already know the certifications that you need to start with and you know what skills they offer. So you already have that information now with the help of what Achyut said. So try to identify one path and maybe then ask specific questions because we're getting a lot of repetitive questions around the same thing as to what skills, what tools. I think they're coming from a point of view that you are also maybe hiring people and you see a lot of resumes. So, do you actually look for these skills, tools? Do you look for these names or anything of
I
that sort?
I would See, I would say that skills in terms of tool usage is only something which is a byproduct. Your
Mhm.
ability to stand out as a person who understands and able to rationalize and reason out and see things objectively
Mhm.
is a key for being a cybersecurity expert. I would say that. So tools is something which you can always master, but being a master of a tool, and if you don't have the other skills, then I think you will fall flat on your face. So
Yeah,
never ever think that tool is the only way or solution of you getting a job into it. Being a strong in tool doesn't give you immediate right to say that I will surely get a job. Having a tool knowledge plus having a general knowledge on how you have to utilize the tool, and if you're able to convince the interviewer that your
Mhm.
skill in the tool will help benefit the organization, I think that's where you would stand out from those, because there could be 10 people who would say that I'm very good in some tool skills, but who stands out is somebody who would be able to demonstrate that he can utilize the tool's expertise to the benefit.
Yeah, yeah. Got it. All right. So we have a person who is asking this question from YouTube. So if I want to become a cloud security expert, he's a beginner and he's preparing for CCNA. So after CCNA, should this person go and get into cloud security directly, or should they start with, upskilling in every domain of cybersecurity?
No, no, you don't have to. So you can
Mhm.
never be a, uh jack of all trades.
Yes,
We are
yes, yes.
all we can be. So never say that I need to master every domain and then only I can get into it. No, it's not that. As long as you know a basic on every domain that you need to work on, I think that in itself. And as long as you know, it's not basic. Is not just about I know what is network by definition. That's not what it is. If you know
Yeah.
network, you need to know the basic controls or basic infrastructure, what is network is all about. So as long as you are able to understand, and then if you say that I want to be a network, get to know more about your network domain per se, and also get to know about the other areas that would directly or indirectly impact your area. So knowing about that will help you in terms of upskilling yourself. So I would say that that is what you need to do.
Got it. Understood. Now, do you recommend resources, any resources that you used in the past, or any kind of websites, videos, maybe your YouTube channels that you have in mind? What do you come across?
I don't have any specific, as I said, right? I just Google, read articles, and I'm telling you, the web is not about just YouTube's shorts, right? And also Instagram shorts. YouTube is all about a lot. Not YouTube. The internet is all about a lot of informations that are hidden, gems, I would say, which you can, when you read through it, you would say, "Oh my God, is this what it is?" And it might actually trigger a good amount of enthusiasm within you, and who knows what it is. So I would say that be open-minded to what you are what you're surfing on the web, and read a lot of things. I would say reading and making sure that you know what is happening in the industry is always the best thing to do.
Got it. Got it. So a few technical questions coming our way. So apart from phishing, malware, or ransomware, what other kind of cyber threats do you foresee, or are there any other threats that someone should look for?
I think the three things that you said, every other attack is the manifestation of these three. It is
Hmm.
phishing, is social engineering. So if you really take into account, everything is human related, and the threat is that a company's best third line is always their employees, and that's the jargon that we as cybersecurity people always say. If an employee is compromised, then your network is compromised in that
Hmm.
way. So
Hmm.
what I would suggest is that the threats like phishing or malware is all basically using some vulnerabilities that are there. And as a cybersecurity expert, you should be able to say pro. What do I say? Procrastinate what it is going
Yeah.
to be, and then think about it, and then do it, because so the cybersecurity people world is fast evolving, and both from the ethical and non-ethical side of it, people who are hackers are evolving at a fast pace, and those who are trying to catch up with those are also evolving. So it's not going to be fixated. World is evolving and things will change, but all the attacks are going to be binary of the three things that you just listed down up now.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So I think Ejaz has a question. He's interested in pursuing, just like you, a career in IT audit. And so he would like your guidance and on the best certification for this field. So right now he's a project in charge for a data center, active passive site, and exploring more suitable certification. He wants to understand whether it's CISA with ISO 27001 and CRISC. Which one would be more beneficial in terms of
I would say CISA.
Mhm.
I would say CISA is a right way to approach if you want to be
Mhm.
an auditor. And I would also say that you could, if you want to get into the financial or say industry, financial fintech industry, then you could do CIA, Certified Internal Auditor course. That would involve a lot of finance also in it. So that's the reason why I did not talk about it initially in the thing. But if you want to, CIA by the Institute of Internal Auditors, that is also a good course. These
Oh,
are the two basic courses that you can do, and
mhm.
then you can work on your skills.
Amazing. Great. Great. Let's say we just have a few more questions to go. Uh, One question is, I think we got this on YouTube as well. Will AI replace cybersecurity profiles, professionals? I think we get this in every webinar for every job role, but I know it's not true, but would just love to hear your thoughts as well.
This is something which is crazy about everybody, because There's always an insecurity on everybody's mind, including my mind, whether AI is going to take my job. No, it's not going to be. And I think that was one of the key. If I'm not sure whether somebody has listened to the speech given by our Prime Minister in the AI. I think it happened in Europe, right? He said that AI will only make people's life easy, but it cannot replace people. So I would take that as a jargon, because humans are always in need of it, because nobody can think rationally and take an objective decision like humans, because binary decisions is not always the right thing to do in your life. So, and that's how certain decisions are within the industry also. You can't be a binary decision. AI can say, yeah, machine learning, it will through experience, but my human mind has its own ability to bifurcate things, look into it in a different way, and then give a solution to it. So, what I would suggest is AI is going to be just an enabling tool for us rather than some tool that is going to take over our
Yeah.
jobs. So, you have to keep you abreast with it. Again, I'm telling you, AI might take over your job if you are not savvy to know, understand what AI can help you with.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So try to get into that aspect of try to do a course which would say, okay, in my current role, how can AI be useful too? And how would I be able to adapt to that AI and say, this is how I'm going to adapt myself so that I can keep myself relevant. So you need to keep yourself relevant in that aspect. So AI can never replace as long as you make sure that you know what needs to be done from your end.
Right. So the second last question that I had is you mentioned about having a mentor or someone like a guide who can help you in the right direction, or sometimes, choose between two decisions if you're confused. So how does one really have or have that mentor figure in their career, especially in a domain that's so versatile, it's so dynamic, it's changing every day. So how does one go about having, a strong mentor?
So mentor can be two things. It could be your parents, your friend, your relatives, somebody whom you trust. You would put your soul in and say that I could actually talk any kind of nonsense and I won't be judged upon. So that is one. So you try to see if somebody can actually understand and be a mentor within your own family or being a friend circle or something like that. But what I would suggest is most of the things in the current industry, mentoring is becoming the jargon of every industry that you take. So try to find a manager, not in your own team. Say probably pick somebody from another team. He might not be related to your job at all, but I'm again and again telling you, for you to grow, you have to start thinking objectively. Probably he will be giving you the objective rationalization, and he might actually take away the jargons and technology aspect, and he would try to say something in a very human way, which would actually help you with your technology mindset, and then that could merge and then start to evolve as such. So mentoring is not about finding somebody in your own line. Mentor
Mhm.
can be anybody in your
Right.
life who
Yeah.
doesn't even understand what is your line of work is all about.
So they give a neutral perspective to your
Exactly.
thinking rather than a more biased approach. Yeah, it's I think a great idea to have someone neutral, someone not related to what you do. So what do companies really look for in today's times, and what kind of companies? So are they, let's say, Standard Chartered, or are they banks? Are they tech companies? So what companies should one be looking for when they're applying for jobs? Are there specific kind of companies that there are? So Varshini has this question.
There is no specific. All
Mm.
industry is your playground, because I'm telling you, as a cybersecurity expert, everything going digital, everything going automated with
Mm.
robotics taking over, even the industries, the manufacturing industries. Every line is your playground for trying to get into. So So I've basically learned that few industries are now going fully automated with everything going robotic in terms of logistics to machine building to everything. So that means as a human auditor or as a cybersecurity expert, how do you ensure that that environment is secure? So in an industry aspect, you are still your role as a cybersecurity comes into picture in terms of banking where I am in, how do you protect your customer data? How do you protect your assets? That becomes the primary. If you go into say steel industry is again it's all about CNC machines and other stuff that is being done. So how do you ensure that nobody just gets into that and then does something? So every industry is open for cybersecurity and it encompasses cybersecurity encompasses all industries. So opportunity is in every domain that you want to or look into. It's a matter of this you identify and say this is what I need.
Yeah, absolutely. So someone has a question. CTF is required for cybersecurity jobs. So firstly, please stop posting the question again and again. We saw your question. We'll get it answered. So is CTF required for a cybersecurity job? He posted that question thrice. We won't be answering that question thrice though, but yeah, you could just maybe let them know.
If I am acronym and not so savvy about the acronym, what is CTF all about?
Yeah,
Sometimes we live in the
maybe.
world of acronyms and jargons, but
Yeah.
I don't know what it means.
So maybe Nikhil, you can let us know on the chat. So I think with these answers, with these right kind of hitting the nail on the head kind of answers, a lot of learners have now understood how they can gain practical exposure, what their strategy in upskilling, or if they've upskilled, what should their strategy for applying for jobs and recruiter outreach is. So I hope that most of your questions, concerns were addressed, and I hope that you found this interaction useful as well. So, in case you are looking to start out and you have no background, so like I mentioned, the cybersecurity expert master's course should really help you bridge that gap, right? So, in this particular course, we cover three major certifications, and we'll be taking you through how this course is built, how this course is designed, and who exactly can take this course. So we'll just spend some time there. And you may have a lot more questions to ask, but I think we've addressed a huge umbrella of questions that you may already have. Let's say something went unanswered, do use the Q&A box to put in your question there. So let me just share my screen and help you understand about the cybersecurity expert master's course. Yes, Nikhil, we'll just come back to that in a bit. Yeah, yeah. So this course prepares you for the CEH, CompTIA, and the CISSP certifications and gives you the latest certification here, which means you get access to CEH V13, you have access to the integrated labs, and also, of course, the exam voucher. Now, if you would want to take these certifications independently with Simplylearn also works, but why we've combined and built this program is for you to have a diverse range of knowledge and also understanding in what the industry really requires. So this is a 4-month program, and you have got interactive sessions from trainers who are industry experts who've got immense training experience, with trainers like you. Our next cohort comes up very, very soon on the 23rd of February. So either you choose to join the upcoming cohort, this one, or the next one in the month of March, right? So what you get as a part of this course is obviously simulation tests for all the exams that you will be writing, and of course access to CEH V13 AI labs, the EC Council courseware. Remember that CEH is offered by EC Council, right? So you get EC Council learning kit along with all the live sessions that I mentioned. Yeah. So just a few minutes, Achyut, if you could take and explain the learners about how this course is built and what they will be learning, that'd be great. You're on mute, I think.
I was on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like a course which encompasses everything that I talked about, the certifications, right? The CES, CEH, CISSP, and CompTIA also, from the security trust side of it. And I think I now see the electives also as cloud security professional and CSAM also.
Mhm.
Actually, this seems to be all in one basket kind of a
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the idea.
so if somebody really is into hardcore and wants to become something in the cybersecurity, I think this might be the right thing, right course as such.
Yeah, yeah. So could you also take them through your journey with Simplylearn? I know you didn't exactly pursue this course. Of course, this is a certificate. I'm going to be collecting interests for this particular course, but in case you guys are interested in pursuing any other course in cybersecurity, also most welcome. But yeah, Achut, so how did your journey with upskilling in Simplylearn start? So how did you decide to choose a triple ITB course, or why did you
Yeah,
exactly
you know what? It's still something which I smile to myself when I think about how I choose this EEP in cybersecurity. I was thinking about doing CISSP
Okay.
and or CISM, and then I said, okay, I have already moved into cybersecurity world in terms
Mhm.
of the technology. Yes, I am actually doing what I am supposed to do, but am I doing it with the knowledge that I have to do my work? And do I have the right basics knowledge before I do a hardcore CISSP? I thought I need to make sure that I have the base perfect, and that's where I was browsing through to see if I something can actually help me out with, and advanced executive program in cybersecurity ticked all my box because it was basic.
Mhm.
It had both what do I say, theory as well as practical labs. So it ticked my box in all sense, and most importantly for me, the Triple IT Bangalore certification, and also the National Payment Corporation of India's
Master
certification,
classes. Yeah.
masterclass certification, and the most important is triple. It's not just coming with Triple IT Bangalore certification; it comes with the transcript also, so you get your CGPA also. So
Yeah,
it's not
absolutely.
that it's like just a certificate. It's more of a course that if you have enrolled yourself into Triple IT Bangalore, you would have got it the way it needs to be. So I thought this is the right thing to do, and that's how I enrolled myself. And it was a 6 months course. I joined the first cohort of that course.
Oh,
uh,
amazing.
so I am a first cohort alumni of
Oh,
that course, and the cohort was right in the middle of COVID. So we had a COVID break of 1.5 months also in between. So that's how it was. So it was a good learning experience in all ways. And that's how I pursued my course in AEP with respect to Simply.
nice, nice. Interesting story about the COVID, this thing as well. So, did you also have this, did you also find that there were a lot of learners who were a lot junior than you? Did you ever feel that,
Abs-
yeah?
Absolutely, absolutely. I was the Buddha of the class. I would say that.
So,
So,
so
so
would the learners come and ask you a lot of questions? How was the cohort like? Obviously, you were a lot senior, back then
yeah.
as well. So it's
See,
just to
I was able to establish a few friendship with a couple of people,
nice.
and see, my cohort, I was the only one who had 15 plus experience, and
Mm.
it had maximum of my next experienced person was only 6 years. So you could
Okay.
see the difference. So you could see the difference of
Yeah.
how it was, the first cohort was. So yeah, it was drastic in terms of, as I said, I was the oldie that in that whole cohort.
So did you also feel the learning was a little slow for you because you were much more experienced? And
No.
considering this is a university program, there will be a lot of beginners. starting out. So did you ever
No,
feel that
no,
gap?
no way, no way. Because see, I'm telling you, in the audit world, right, we always say that stupid questions can bring out one of the critical findings in your audit. So there is nothing. Uh, See, just because they are beginners and they are asking basic questions, sometimes you might have forgotten the basic questions that you, and these questions might remind you of those base that you need to keep up with. So no, it never bothered me as long as I am learning something out of it. I did not actually the cohort who was with me never bothered me at all. And those questions were also fun sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Maybe it was like you were just revisiting what you had learned in the beginning. And great, great. Great to know about your journey. It was interesting listening to you and also understanding your journey. And I hope the learners too found it useful. So a lot of you have given a yes on the poll. Remember that if you would like to take up the Triple ITB course as well, now, obviously, reasons for Achyut were different. Your motivations and your career goals may be different. So, whatever course you choose, whether it's a cybersecurity expert master's program or the triple ITB, AEP, which is the Advanced Executive Program course, there are also other certifications that you can take up. So, please let the learning advisor know what your goals are so that they can guide you with the right course here. Okay. And I've sent the link to the course pages. Please check them out. You could also download the syllabus and understand how the course modules are arranged or why they are arranged in a certain order, what you would get out of the electives. Everything is available on the brochure. Yeah. So with this, I'm just going to end the poll here and quickly take your feedback on the session. We do take feedback seriously. So let us know if you would like us to do anything better, how you liked the session with Achyut. If you would like to hear him more in further webinars, also happy to know that. Let us know on the chat. We'll pass that request on to him once again. But yeah, anything else that you would like us to work upon, let us know on this poll. Any thoughts that you have, Achyut, to the learners? You might have seen the nature of questions that we had today. So, quick advice to people on how they should think. Any advice there?
I would say the only advice I would give everybody is uh, never think that you are less than another person right next to you. You are a winner on your own rights. So don't compare yourself with the person next to you, or don't allow others to bully you into submission that you are
Mhm.
lesser person than the person you are talking with. So once you have that in your mind, I think life will always be there. It's always difficult to follow what I'm saying because I'm still learning
Mhm.
as a person with 21 years. So I need to also tell myself and practice what I'm saying to you by repeatedly saying in my mind, no, that's not how it is, because you are human. Your mind plays a trick, everything plays a trick, but always make sure that you have confidence in your own self. And as long as you have confidence in yourself, you can achieve anything in your life. So
Great.
that's my parting.
Great. That's amazing advice, I think. Great thought to close the session in. And also we've got a lot of people have given us 5 rating, which is amazing. Thanks so much. Glad that you found this interaction and conversation useful. So I think this brings us to the end of today's session, Achyut. So the learners can maybe stay back and we'll collect their names for the webinar certificate. So you see a poll and please enter your name. You will receive a certificate with the link to the recording tomorrow. Yeah. So we'll keep the poll live for a couple of more minutes. Otherwise, I think we're pretty much done. Addressing, let me see if there are any more last minute question. Yeah. So
I
CTF, yeah, was capture
I
the,
was about to say,
yeah,
capture the flag. So
yeah.
to tell you, right, this is with respect to the coding question that came our way, right? So
Hmm.
if you want to be an ethical hacker, then capturing the flag is something which probably is right thing to do, because if you are a savvy person in terms of trying to capture the flag. It's mostly how you get into various systems before you get that flag, right? That's how it is. So if you are that kind of a person, capture the flag is something which you really need to know. And for that, whatever is your upskilling, whatever is the course that you need to take, yes. But I won't say that SETF is the must know skills to for you to progress in cybersecurity. As I said, cybersecurity is a wider area and is not just about ethical act.
Got it. All right. Hope that answer your question. Nikhil, I think, had posted that question. So I hope that answers. Nikhil. And Ijaz, I think we addressed this question about what companies hire. So, yes, you could be a part of a big four or a telecom company, anything. So this the role itself is company agnostic. Yeah. Great. I think we've got responses. Let's say you guys have questions regarding any of the issues that you face related to this webinar. You could reach out to webinars@simplylearn.net. And if you don't receive your certificate by the end of tomorrow, you could reach out to the same email ID. Okay, so make sure that you submit your name very, very quickly because we are about to end the session. And right now, I am also going to give you the link to our WhatsApp community, which gives you alerts about our upcoming webinar. Some of you are already a part of this community and receive this alert about today's webinar. Here you go. I'm just sending the link once again. You could join this community and, maybe join another webinar that you find interesting, another cybersecurity webinar that you find interesting with another speaker. Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you so much, Achyut, for your time today. It was great hosting you, like I said, and also listening to your advice. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank
see
you,
you.
Aparna. Thanks for hosting me, and would like to thank all the listeners. So good night, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody.
Yeah,
See you.
exactly.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a great rest of the day.